Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Figuring It Out as I Go Along. And this week I'm joined by the lovely Ben Smith to debate the age-old claim that university is the best time of your life. Coming at it from different perspectives, this laid down the perfect foundation for an extensive discussion. Ben agreed wholeheartedly with the statement, adding that it has made for a sudden drop back down to reality in post-grad life, whilst I described how I was desperately ready to leave and how this allowed me to find more joy in my life after graduating. From discussing pseudo-adulthood to sleep procrastination and the importance of mindset, we really covered all bases and found a way to meet in the middle of the debate. I truly enjoyed reflecting on university with Ben in a way that I hadn't before, and it was an honour to have him on the podcast. I would be curious to hear your opinions, so let me know what you think. Hello Ben, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, no, I'm really good, thanks. It's always really nice when people ask back. Everyone always does, but I don't know why it always catches me by surprise when people are like, how are you? I'm like, oh, good, thanks. So, let's start off. Let's do a little bit of an intro. Do you want to introduce yourself, maybe how we know each other, what you're doing, however you want to show the audience who you are?
Oh, okay. So, my name is Ben, and we met, it would have been my second year of uni, I think.
Yeah.
And we were both on committee for Leeds Student Radio. I think I was doing music, and were you Home Time?
I was head of Home Time, yeah.
And I think that's how we met. I don't think we'd met before then.
I think that was the first time, yeah.
And was that your last year of uni?
That was fourth year, yeah. It was, yeah.
So then, obviously, you graduated, and then, fast forward 2 years?
Yeah.
And I met our mutual friend, Libby. Well, she was just my friend at the time. Currently mutual friend. And me and Libby decided to form a band, and I was thinking, Christ, who do I know who plays drums? Oh, Kate plays drums. So I just texted you out of the blue, I think.
I'm so honoured. Yeah, you did. I'm so honoured that you remembered, because I was like, outside of music context, I just didn't know if people knew that, if that makes sense. So I was so honoured that I must have slipped it into conversation once or something, and then it came up.
And then
the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Indeed.
Yeah, a year and a half ago, and then we just met songs together, and then here we are.
And here we are.
Still
Big
going.
things coming from Public House coming soon. But yeah, no, exactly, and it was really nice because we've kind of united as friends post uni with a completely different project in mind, but it's actually really nice. So yeah, very talented guitarist over here, but that's not why we're here today. No. In fact, we had a conversation over text quite recently about something that we were both on the same page about, but also coming from different directions.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a really interesting discussion. Do you want to kind of introduce where the idea came from?
Yeah, I can't remember how it came about, but
no, I'm not sure.
But the idea was I don't know. Growing up, I was always told oh, enjoy school, it's the best time of your life. And then I was going to uni, it was enjoy every minute of it, it's the best time of your life. And I was kind of thinking that always felt like a bit of a bleak outlook on life.
Yeah.
What do you mean you've had 30 years post school and you haven't been able to top it?
Yeah, that's so true.
And yeah, I think our differences in kind of approach to this is that I actually had a fantastic time at uni. It definitely was the best time of my life so far. But yeah, I think it's quite a bleak outlook on life to think it will never get any better.
Yeah, I think that narrative is really, I remember pre-uni, everyone telling me that, and I was I'm intrigued about how you felt going into it, because I don't know about you, but I was so nervous. And it kind of gave me a bit of comfort, it's going to be the best years of my life, but it also put a lot of pressure, especially when I got there and I was still nervous. It's not like I arrived in Leeds and the nerves dissipated. It took a bit of time to settle in. So I was when does it start becoming the best years of your life? And I think that pressure was there from almost the get-go. How did you approach it when you first got there? Was it the best years of your life straight away, or?
To be honest, yeah. So
fair play.
I was half lucky, half unlucky. So I grew up in a very, very small town. We went to uni in Leeds. There are more students in Leeds than the entire population of my town.
Oh wow!
There's not a lot going on there. And like whenever I wanted to go to gigs and that kind of thing, I was always traveling to and from London, which was like a 3 hour round trip on like a school night.
Yeah.
So I could not wait to get out. I was like scratching at the walls by the time I was 18. But then, yeah, the March of my final year of school was COVID, lockdown.
Yeah, of course.
So I kind of had, what, 4 or 5 months of just nothing to do. And just all I had on the horizon was moving to uni. So it was all I had to, I was just so looking forward to it. Because it just meant getting, even just out of the house, let alone like out of my hometown. And it was just this like, it was like a call to adventure almost.
Yeah, I like that.
And then I found all my flatmates like through Facebook and stuff. We set up a WhatsApp chat, and we all got on really well. Our mutual friend Rishi, we started talking about, oh my god, we're the same person. Like this is how this has happened. And yeah, from the get go, it was just kind of like it felt like a holiday.
Yeah, I think that is the case. Like it is that idea of like, you're not got your parents there anymore. You've quite literally got the freedom. You've gone into like the big world, and anything that you want to do. COVID aside, I guess, if we talk about it irrespective of the pandemic, you can kind of do anything, and I think that freedom for some people is really opens a lot of doors, and I think for other people that freedom maybe is a bit overwhelming, which is maybe where we differ in that respect. Because I think that freedom frightened me. I also came from a small town, perhaps not that small, but I think even though I chose a big city, I knew that's what I wanted. I was a bit like daunted by the concept of like how much choice. Like it excited me, and I thought that's like what pushed me through. But I think there was almost like so much option that I almost felt a little bit like paralyzed as soon as I got there. Like, oh my god, where do I begin?
I do completely agree with that, and I've definitely experienced that like in the post-uni life of like looking for a job. Like there's 1,000 options available to you. Like, how do you pick one? Like, I could, and I have that exact for now. Like, but for uni, I did not have that at all. I was just couldn't wait to get in. Really,
it's really interesting, isn't it? Like, I don't know if you like have you watched Fresh Meat?
Yes.
Yeah, I've actually I've not even finished it. I've never seen it before, and I'm really late to the party. Absolutely love it. And I've been watching that recently, and I've been watching Sex Lives of College Girls, and like I've just watched a lot of shows that explore that concept of being a fresher and being, whether it's American, whether it's English, those feelings are kind of internationally apparent, like the nerves, the awkwardness, the trying to fit in, but also that newfound freedom. And I think one thing I found really interesting, and I don't know if you've seen this with like other people, like now, and I'm not saying that I'm now a pessimist, because I think in many ways I've become more optimistic about things, but I think meeting students now, I think everyone just seems so like ready to take on the world. And like there's like this bubble of like possibility, and I think that's what's quite wonderful and lovely. And then you kind of get out a little bit and you're like, there's still so much possibility, but I'm not quite as naive anymore. Have you seen that?
It's like the going away in search of a better life. Like it's this like intangible promise of a better life that you're kind of just throwing yourself into.
Yeah.
But on the topic
definitely.
of pressure, do you ever look around and go, wow, they're so young?
Oh like, my God.
Literal children.
Yeah. I know. Like kids that I have like taught in the past are now going to uni this September. Like even if it was just like tutoring and stuff, but they would have been in like year 8 at the time. Like now are literally freshers. And when I was a fresher, I mean, I didn't feel grown up, but you do feel grown up. Like
oh, you feel like such an adult, don't you? You're living on your own. You're cooking, cleaning, everything is just all on you. But
yeah, exactly.
You are not.
So that is adulthood.
Yeah, I mean by definition, yeah. But I finished uni just over a year ago.
Yeah,
like a year and like 4 months, and I've like grown that much since then. Like,
yeah. Well, I feel like those things aren't really like obvious though. Like you kind of notice them in retrospect. Like you don't notice them as they're happening, and I think that's a massive part of it. Like I think it's funny because a lot of my conversations on here like refer back to uni because I started this in uni. And I think if I look back at like the beginning episode of this podcast, then I probably have matured quite a lot since then. But I'm almost like grasping onto that sense of identity of being a student. I'm 2.5 years out of it. So like I'm grasping onto, and I think identity is a really big part of it, and I think that that's what people maybe struggle to find initially, but once they find it at uni, that's what's quite hard to let go of. Have you found that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of are in this like enclosed community almost, like
Yeah.
especially like in Leeds where you have such like designated student areas and they're like right next to uni. Like you live amongst like thousands and thousands of students. Your commute to uni every day is just students everywhere. Obviously on campus, they're everywhere. Like you are kind of in this little bubble.
Yeah, of people around your own age as well.
Yeah.
Like,
And like no one's really got any major responsibilities. Like yeah, you have to look after yourself and stuff, but like you can bin off a day's uni and go out to the pub if you want to. Like
yeah.
right,
But also because no one's holding you accountable for anything.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And that, like, I think that's the exciting part, is like that, oh my God, I could just go to the pub. I could just not go to my lectures. I could just do all this. And then I read somewhere about this idea of that university is like pseudo-adulthood. Like, it's not real. It's an artificial demonstration. And it's because it kind of, I don't know, it gives you the illusion of adulthood with like freedom and choice and newfound responsibility, but also like if you don't want that responsibility, like it's fine, you don't have to have it.
it's half and half, isn't it? Like
It's half and half. Yeah, you can take it on if you want. You can kind of go, nah, not for me right now. You can eat in the middle of the night. You can have sweets whenever you want, which as a kid is like the dream. You've got that, but also with that there's almost no balance. I think that's the thing.
I think you get tired of it eventually.
Yeah.
Like even I think back to like first year now, like I had a wonderful time, but if I tried to live how I lived in first year, I reckon the morning of day 3 I'd be tapping out.
Yeah. What was your, paint that picture then, what was your freshers?
Oh, so obviously it was still lockdown, so it was just lots and lots of drinking in the kitchen and going on walks to get coffee in the day. And like your sleep pattern just no longer exists, especially because all the lectures were online as well.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter if you missed the lecture because it was all recorded and you could just watch it later.
Yeah.
So like,
That's
no,
so true.
I'm not gonna wake up at 9 a.m. to attend this live lecture. I'll go to bed at 9 a.m. and watch it when I wake up and eat, like.
Yeah.
And yeah, they definitely got a bit cabin fever towards the end, but then by then like restrictions were starting to lift, so it was all right. But yeah, just
true.
lots and lots of drinking in the kitchen, and the kitchen was always such a state.
Yeah. See, one of the things that I think about that is like part of that bubble that you don't, I'm sure I've said it on the podcast before, but I think it's really relevant to this. Like, one thing that you do realise when like you go out of uni and then like either you go to visit someone who's still there or like you remember something, you're like, oh my God, we lived in a state.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just like floating through and you don't think to tidy the kitchen. Whereas now if there's like a little like tea stain on the side, I'm like, oh, where's my spray? Like that was not part of my life
Fresher
before.
me walked into my room right now, I think he has like a seizure, just that like I mean it's not particularly clean, but like it's like
In
it's not
comparison.
spotless, but it's clean.
Yeah.
Back then
I think that comes with, I think like you said though, like it's like not being able to, you almost, I love this, I use this expression way too much, but like you swing the pendulum so far the other way, and then you need to find that balance of meeting in the middle. And I think for me, I think perhaps what I found, I think every year for me, my friends and I like to describe it as like different seasons of a television show. There was a different plot line, there was a different challenge that arose in each one, and I like and hate kind of all of them equal amounts for different reasons. It's like a very love-hate relationship. But by the end of that 4th year, I was ready to go because I think I'd learned the balance. I think I'd learned what didn't work. I think I'd learned what did work. And I needed to play house with my newly found rules, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed more sleep. I knew I needed to eat more regularly. Like, I ate enough, but like at weird times. You know, I needed time for myself. I needed time that wasn't, you know, I needed to be able to say no, but I also needed to be able to say yes. So it was like, it's literally trial and error. I think that's the thing with the whole of uni, is that it's trial and error.
Yeah, and just like patterns slowly emerge
Yeah.
in your behaviour, I think. Like,
100%, 100%. Did you say that? Sorry, Would you say that you felt like you kind of hinted on the word community earlier? Did you feel that you had this like sense of belonging at uni then?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we were so lucky because like my whole flat got on so well, and we were friends right through to the end. And the flat below us, directly below us, we kind of just bonded with them as well.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
just lived together for the rest of uni. That was it. Very like fresh meat esque, where like
Yeah,
you get put with a bunch of strangers and you just happen to all turn out to be like best mates. And yeah, there's arguments and fallouts and things like that, but like there's always going to be at some point. Like,
yeah. Oh, that is part of. I think the biggest life lesson you can learn at uni is how to live with people that you've just been thrown into. Like, it could be your best friend ever. And they still could like not wash their plates up properly, and there's a little bicker. Like I think that's so natural. Do you think that feeling of belonging, therefore, is as easy to come about once you've left that bubble? Deep, I know.
definitely not as easy to come about. No,
Yeah.
and it definitely still exists, but you have to go searching for it. I think.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not as like. I think a lot of that sense of belonging at uni is kind of based on living situation, course, and or societies, which are
Yeah.
kind of structured for you. So you can choose your group, or elsewhere if you find, other people. But I think in the real world, that structure's not there. So you've kind of got to navigate that yourself, I think.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort, especially if you're doing like a 9 to 5. You really have to make use of those weekday evenings,
Yeah.
which, like being in your own 20s, you just have to sacrifice them to like. It's very hard to get a routine. I've found, like,
Yeah.
it's hard to like consistently go to the gym and eat well and have a clean place whilst also trying to be sociable on your weekday nights.
Yeah.
Like if I have like plans 3 days in a row, the next weekday night I come back to it and everything is just awry.
Yeah. That's so true. It's like almost like you're like. I think probably because you don't clean when you're at uni and your
Yeah.
whole life is socializing. You're not juggling all these plates. Whereas like all of a sudden, it's almost like that feeling of autonomy is so apparent that you're like, oh, I've got to wash my clothes. Actually, I've got to do this. Oh, actually, I've got to do that. There's a lot of, I think, oh, I'm a student that you can kind of like not
Yeah.
do certain things because you're a student, and then you kind of if you are lucky enough to have that environment where you go home at the holidays to a family, you kind of can then be like, oh mum, here's my washing, and go back to being
Yeah.
16 again as well. So you
get
never
that
really
reset. Like
Yeah.
you spend what 3 months living a bit like a slob and like just cutting corners everywhere, and then you get a month where you can kind of just get your life back on track.
yeah,
And
but then mum's doing half of that for you anyway.
Exactly, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a nice hit the reset button, and then you've got 3 more months to,
Yeah.
live in squalor.
Whereas now it's like, actually, if
Yeah.
I don't take the bin out, literally no one will. So, but do you think, I'm intrigued because I think I take a lot more pride in doing my chores now than I did at uni. Maybe because it's not as messy to begin with. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you find that?
I would definitely agree. Like I like, being proud of where I live and like being a bit
Yeah.
house proud and like having people over and not being like, oh, sorry, excuse the
Yeah.
mess. Like I want people to come and go, oh, really nice place. Or like, what you done with it? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anyone does that when they walk into a student house, like ever.
no, not once has anyone walked into
No.
a Hyde Park house and gone, wow.
Yeah, I love what you've done with the place. It's like, oh, you haven't got rats. Well done. Like, it's like actually achievement, and we definitely did. I'm intrigued. Like, do you think, therefore, like the idea of like the best? What makes a time the best time? What if you were to have like a recipe and it's like the ingredients? What is it for you that made it the best time of your life?
Oh, I think the freedom is definitely one.
Okay.
Just even if you don't choose to exercise it, having the choice to just sack off life's responsibilities until you're ready to face them again
Yeah.
is definitely a nice one, which I miss from uni. But like in general, the people you surround yourself with is definitely a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really important part, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because I think for me the difficulty that I hold with. Let me preface before I go into it. I did not love uni. There's so much of it that I loved, and I think especially as we met on the creative side of things, there were so many opportunities. Like at Leeds, it's got like 500 societies, and we definitely threw ourselves into them. And that side of things, and my actual course, and the people that I've met that I'm still great friends with now, like the best thing that has ever happened to me. But I think psychologically, for me, I describe uni as a melting pot of people from all backgrounds, so that are quite different, which is wonderful. And I wouldn't change the fact that it's made me so much more open-minded and meeting people with so many different experiences. But the similarities that all these people have is this like kind of lack of identity, knowing what to do, and then also all this freedom. So I think with that, with everyone kind of going like, I don't really know, but I don't really care, let's just get drunk. I don't drink, so I didn't have that. But that loss of identity almost made people clash, because I think it made people go like, well, I don't know who I am. Well, I don't know who I am. And then I think there was a lot of upheaval. A lot of like, I had to learn how to deal with confrontation. I had to learn to deal with romantic situations that didn't work, which I'd never dealt with before. Friendships that I didn't like, that weren't healthy. And then I couldn't leave them because A, there was a pandemic on our hands, and B, they were people that I saw every day, some of them. So like, I think for me, interesting how you said about freedom, because I think that I almost felt as though my freedom had been taken away from me because I couldn't escape some negative situations. I felt free from responsibilities, but I felt quite shackled to negative situations that I felt were dictating my experience. So I had to go to these clubs, I had to go to these situations to distract myself from things that were messing with my self-esteem and my sense of worth and my understanding of like, actually, what the hell do I want out of life? Because almost like when I went back to the house, there was so much going on that I couldn't actually like just take myself away to my room and relax because someone was arguing or someone was this. And if you're listening, I'm not throwing shade to that, but they know what it was like in that house. So like, you know, like it was, for me, it was more like the psychological side of like dealing with all that change in identity whilst having to put up with all the fun stuff, if that makes sense. So it almost like tainted that image of it.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely had our fair share of drama. We had quite a lot of it, but it was all kind of contained in these like big major incidents rather than like a falling out with a housemate where it's just like petty for a year. It'd be a huge blow up. I'm like, what are we going to do? Oh my God, like I cannot believe this happened to us. And then we just kind of work through it and back to normal. Right,
okay, interesting,
that might be a bit of a difference. Whereas it's rather than just like, you know, war of attrition grinding you down over the years, it was kind of like an explosion and then quickly move on.
I think that is probably the healthiest way to deal with things as well. I think a lot of it was me learning how to deal with that. And like sometimes maybe I didn't communicate that someone had upset me as well. And then I'd snap later on. You know, it was, I think the thing is for me with uni, like my granddad always said to me that like, yeah, you learn about your course, but you also learn about yourself and about other people. I feel like I, as a person, I'm not very good at confrontation. And uni threw me in at the deep end with being confronted with confrontation to the point where like before maybe I'd been so passive and I hadn't realised and I'd run away from difficult situations. I was suddenly like in situations where I had to deal with that. Otherwise I would snap. And then I was like, oh, I don't like that side of myself. And I was like, actually, that's just literally just life. So maybe I was like beating myself up for like dealing with confrontation. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think also maybe I just kind of got lucky with who I was around to start with, so I kind of got like gently accustomed to it before anything like because like, you know, some like major piece of drama will happen to you at uni, like
of course it's part and parcel of it.
But I think we had enough time to kind of acclimatise before anything serious drastic happened, which probably eased the transition.
No, fair enough. I feel like I'm painting in such a bad light, because 90% of these connections were so lovely. There were just some tricky situations that for me, like, tainted all of it. Maybe I just have a lot of regret and the fact that, like, I wish I hadn't let those situations taint it. Do you know what I mean? Because if you do actually ask me to write a list of all the things that I love about uni, then I could write you a long list, and the ones that I didn't like would be smaller, but maybe would have amounted to more of my association with uni.
Yeah. What's the opposite of rose-tinted glasses?
Some like moldy fruit that like ruins all the others in the bowl. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, but I think this kind of goes into my next question. Do you think that, like, the best years of your life, or the best time of your life as a metaphor, is an actual period, or is it a mindset?
I think, like, like major life events aside, I think you're doing something wrong if your life doesn't progressively get better as the years go by.
Yeah. That's so true, actually. Yeah. Expand on that. I want to hear what you got to say about that.
Because, like, every year you have new experiences to draw from, and you become a more well-rounded, intelligent person, up until you're kind of like becoming senile, obviously. But, like, you just have, like, more and more experiences to draw from, and you become more well-rounded, and you just, you
level up, don't you?
You become a better person as years go by, and you are able to fix things that are going wrong better. And you just slowly whittle away at the things that you're not happy with until you're kind of left with the nice things.
Yeah, no, do you know what? That's so true. And I feel like with a growth mindset, that is the way that life should go. Instead of, like, obviously, like you said, shit things happen, and that they can, throw a curveball, and you, oh God, I haven't dealt with that before. But once you know kind of the first time how you've dealt with something, then each time things get a little bit easier. I think maybe, uni is placed in this almost like hedonic kind of like pleasure-based idea that, like, that is the best years of your life because it's pure pleasure seeking. Whereas actually, like, I think that's interesting that you say that, because I think that's what I'm getting at. I think that a lot of people struggle with mindset at uni. So therefore, if their mindset is like, this is great, then it is going to be great. If one's mindset is like, this is so much trickier than I thought it was going to be, wait, why is it not the best years of my life? And then I think that's what basically either paints this glass half full idea of uni, or this glass half empty idea, based on kind of how you deal with those emotions. Personally, I felt like I was just, like, thrown a really weird deal of cards, weird being the key word, and then was like, shit, I've got to learn how my mindset works to deal with this. Whereas now on the other side of it, I'm like, don't throw anything out. Actually, I mean, like, but do you know what I mean? Like, I feel a little bit more equipped, but I feel like everything was, like, learnt in those 4 years, and that was the discomfort of learning those lessons. Yeah, if that makes sense.
It is kind of just like speed running emotional maturity, isn't it? For 4 years.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, like, oh, look, we're going to throw, like, a really difficult romantic situation at you now. Yeah. And now we're going to make you challenge whether you were ever really clever at all. And now we're going to have someone that doesn't wash their pots. And then you've got, like, all three of those, like, battling. Then one kind of evens out. And then you have, like, a really good time because you're, like, relaxed and you've not got any responsibilities. Then it's like, ooh, a bad exam. And then it's like, wait, what? And then you come out the other side. See, this is what I found, is that I've then come out the other side. And struggling with drugs. That was the word, jobs. That did not come out correctly. Struggling with jobs, struggling with finances, all that side of things. But my mindset is like, look, I've done this before. Like, I don't know, I feel stronger because of it, which means that I wouldn't want to change uni. But I think that at the time I did not feel strong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, do you ever feel strong when you're, like, deep in the pits?
No, well, that's the thing. No, I don't think you do.
Yeah. But, like, the strength is getting out of it, I think. And
yeah, like, I think that's the thing. It's resilience. Like, no one feels resilient when they're in the midst of the thing that is making them resilient.
No, they're absolutely terrified. But...
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I think the freedom came leaving uni and like taking a hold of like, oh, I can kind of make this how I want it now. Like I know I didn't like that, but like certain elements, not the whole thing. I'm not gonna let that bother me again. I'm gonna like take this on board, and like try and then that freedom for me was quite freeing, because it was like I don't have to align myself with things that don't serve me anymore. But on the flip side, I'd be intrigued, did you then leaving uni did you have that thought in your brain like that is as good as it's gonna get, or did you not think about that until later?
I definitely didn't think about it much. I didn't really think about leaving uni at all, really. I just kind of like, oh, that's done. What's next?
Yeah.
And I stayed in Leeds, so I really was clinging on. That,
Yeah, true. See, I ran away.
yeah. See, it was weird for me though, because in my third year, I lived in a house of eight, and I was the only one that didn't graduate that year.
Oh, right,
I
yeah,
had
of
another
course.
year to kind of watch them all tackle it and see how they got on.
Yeah.
I think one person had a good time
Oh, really?
out of the seven that left. And so I was graduating thinking, I've seen like seven people all do it. I know all the pitfalls. I've got all this advice. Like, I'm going to be fine. And then about 2 months later, um, you know, you,
Yeah.
you get a slap round the face with reality.
Yeah. And what is that? What has that slap round the face of reality been for you? What physical factors do you think?
Oh, I don't know. It's just how much responsibility you have, and
Yeah.
it's unrelenting responsibility.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like some weeks you'll get up and you'll just absolutely smash everything and you'll be in a great like mood. But other weeks, like the thought of just putting on a wash is the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world. But like if you don't do it, you're not gonna have clean clothes to work the next day. Like
Yeah.
you just have to force yourself to do it. But I think it gets easier with time.
It definitely does. And
You adjust.
it is like a massive drop from being on a high to like being like, okay, no, I really do like with anything, it's learning, isn't it? It's learning through experience, and after a bit you kind of do it without thinking. Do you find, I think it's interesting because I think that people like of our parents' generation maybe kind of forget about that transition, because now they're at a stage where like everything's easier. Like, do you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
used to all the bills, they're used to all the responsibility, that you sometimes kind of forget that like, oh, when I first left, actually that was quite a weird time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, from like birth to your graduation date is very episodic.
Yeah.
Like you're in nursery and then you're in primary school and you go through the years and you get more mature and then you go to and you just kind of and also each like school year, each time you move school, when you move to uni, you're given like a clean slate and a chance to cut like
Yeah.
how many people would go away for like summer holidays while you're in secondary school, come back in September and have completely reinvented themselves.
Yeah.
Like you're given all these opportunities to kind of just like take a sledgehammer to your life and change the things you don't like
Yeah.
overnight. And
Yeah,
there's
that's so
constant
true.
chapters where you get the chance to do it, and then you leave uni and it goes, okay, now the rest of your life begins. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it
it's
feels
like,
the epilogue, and it's like, okay,
ta-da!
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
off
that's
you
so
go.
true. Yeah, actually, that's such a good thing, a good way of wording it, because I think that fear, in a way, if you would call it fear, has definitely been prevalent. Where I've kind of thought, okay, that's that. Now I'm going to be 80 and then I'm going to die. And it's like, no, we've actually got a lot of time between there
Yeah.
for things to change, for things to grow. But I think it does feel like you're just kind of shoved. I kind of described it at the time as like, you almost like, you're walking on like solid ground for ages, and then when you finish uni, you're like at the edge of a cliff, and then people are like, look at all those towns, like, you've got a parachute, it's fine. You
Yeah.
could go to that one, you could go to that one, you could go to that one, and it's like, this is life now, and it's like, what? But where do I jump? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, I know I'll land somewhere, that's fine, but you're making me make all these choices about where to land, and like that's really overwhelming. I feel like I've thought about that analogy a lot. I don't know if it makes as much sense in practice. But yeah, does it kind of make sense?
it feels like just a very like cut off point of like you've had your chances at growing up, and now you're on your own.
Yeah. Let's see if all the practice, let's put it into practice, like
Yeah.
all the like mock that you've done so far. Let's see if you can like actually handle it. Like it does kind of feel like that, definitely. Have you been able though to find different kinds of joy now post uni that you maybe already enjoyed, but maybe like that you appreciate in a different way now that your life is different?
Oh, definitely. Like even just like me and some of my old uni friends, like once every couple months, we'll just like rent an Airbnb, especially if there's like a bank holiday and we've got a long weekend. We'll
Yeah.
just like straight after work on Friday, head there and
Nice.
just have like 3 days just in the middle of nowhere, just to catch up and enjoy spending time together. And we
That's
never
so
really
nice.
had that much at uni because like at uni you've always got that is the one thing that you've always got something you could be doing.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like decide to take the day off, you could still be studying. There's still a
Yeah.
project you could be doing some work
Yeah,
on.
that's so true. Yeah.
Whereas like we disappear into the absolute like middle of nowhere in like the Lake District or something like that, and we have nothing to do other than just enjoy
No
spending
one
time
needs
together.
you right there.
Yeah.
Somewhere, anywhere else, you could turn your phone off and no one would need you. And that's perfect. Yeah. I think that is one thing that, like, I found quite hard to relax at uni is because even when I was sat on the sofa, it felt like I was procrastinating. Even if it was like timetabled rest, like it felt like. But now, in an evening, I can just sit and play a game on my phone while we're watching telly. And like I don't know about you, but I like watched no telly at uni except for like background telly. Like I because I just never
Yeah.
relaxed.
We did get into the swing of it on third year. We had our shows that we'd watch. Like
Okay, fair enough.
It's Monday. It's University Challenge and Only Connect time. Like it's Thursday. It's
Oh my
Apprentice
god, the
time.
best shows for uni students. Honestly, we used to
Yeah.
watch them after a night out. We used to come and put them on iPlayer.
Oh, we would always watch Takeshi's Castle after nights out.
Oh my god, amazing! Yeah, I wish I'd watched that at uni. I used to watch that as a kid. That's so good. No, but I think that's so true because I think it can be easy to think that like that pleasure that we get from the highs of like the funny moments at uni, the nights out, the big milestones. It feels like you'll never hit that again. But
Yeah.
actually, those weekends in the Lake District like are gonna be completely different kinds of memories, but equally as important that you couldn't see third doing at all, or or reaping the benefits of that in the same way. For me, this is going to sound really weird. Like, I didn't sleep very well towards the end of uni, and I have taken so much comfort in not even actually just sleeping, but the time before I go to sleep, like in my room, because I didn't suffer from insomnia, but I just was a very light sleeper because there was always like different things going on in the house and different energies, and people would wake me up, and it's just you can't really sleep well in a uni house. But even I've realised this is my third house now away from that uni house, and I still every night when I go to bed I'm like, oh my god, this is just like my space. Like it's so like I've taken joy again from that feeling of like I can go to sleep now. Like that sounds really weird, but like it's a conscious thought that I have regularly because it's something that like I took for granted, the fact that I couldn't sleep very well. And I was like, oh, got a bit of dread of like going to bed because like I'm just going to lie here for hours and just like not get sleep. Whereas now I'm like, oh, I don't really feel that way anymore. Like,
Yeah.
this is so great. Like, I don't know.
No, I have had that where like there's the fear of like, what if I can't sleep?
Yeah, I used to have that every night at uni. Like,
Yeah.
every night. To the point where I'd like procrastinate it on the sofa till I'm like falling asleep downstairs.
Yeah.
So-
I'd just sit on my phone until my eyes were literally shutting. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Because if I lay down, then I would just probably just lie there. I used to love that feeling of coming back from a night out and being like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so ready for bed, because I would just go to sleep.
yeah.
Well, on a normal night, I just wouldn't. So,
Oh yeah. I would
yeah.
put off going to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
Isn't it
universal
funny?
uni thing, or is that just?
I don't know, maybe
being
everyone
weird.
listening is going to be like, oh my God, I did that too. Yeah, I just didn't go to sleep. I found it daunting. I found it scary. And I think now I really love that I get a decent night's sleep. And if I don't, then I know how to handle that the next day. Like, it's like, okay, I'll just rest. Like, I think that's another thing. I don't know about you, but I didn't rest a lot at uni. Like, it would be shattered after a night out, or like hungover or whatever, or sleeping. Like, there wasn't like, or working. There wasn't like a time where I'm just kind of a lazy Sunday morning. It was I actually feel like death Sunday morning. You know, there was never like that, oh, I'm just going to sit here for 2 hours and feel like you're saying there's always something you could be doing. There was never that feeling of like, I'm just going to do nothing. So that kind of like now being like, oh, I'm actually all right. Like, I could just chill, and then I'll go to work and do all that tomorrow, and then I'll come back and I'll have that time for me. Like, that is nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I've had an extremely abnormally busy summer. I did actually just, when I like got back from, I was out in Ireland, and
Nice.
I just took like a weekend, and I purposefully made no plans, and I said no to plans, which I never do.
Wow, that is big.
I love just spontaneously doing things, and I forced myself to just sit for the weekend and just do whatever I fancied, as long as it was me on my own. I was like, I just need some time to just do nothing, and it was wonderful.
I don't think uni allows you to do that, because like the fear of missing out at uni is massive, I think.
I think that is kind of the flip side of like uni. There's always something you could be doing, and there's a time limit. Like, you know, after 3-4 years, that's it. You're never going to do this again. Whereas the positive of kind of, okay, now you're an adult, you've got X amount of years, off you go, is the fact there isn't that crushing time pressure anymore.
Yeah.
You have like no idea what you want to do, no idea how you're going to make rent sometimes, like,
but
the one thing you do have is time. There's that less guilty feeling of like, I need to do something.
That is so true. Yeah, there is that kind of like, oh, you're only a student once, like, we've got to go out, like, you only live once, you've got to do this. What, on the flip side of kind of my side of the argument is, the one thing I really, I say lightly, the one thing I do miss, is that feeling of like, even though there are things that like upset me and like stay with me, and, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they were really trivial. And I feel like worries nowadays are maybe less, I mean, I worry about everything, that's not the point, but I mean, like, physical, tangible worries now are like rent, job, you know, they're a bit more black and white. And I find that scarier. Whereas like at uni, it was like, oh my God, you'll never guess what she said. It's like, who cares now? I want to go back and be like, why did you worry that that girl gave you a weird look in a lecture for like 3 days straight? I wish that was the only thing that I thought about. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but
everything was
you're always
the
going
end
to
of the
find
world.
something to worry about at the end of the day. Like, no matter how peaceful your life is, I think.
Yeah.
There's always
Oh, I do, definitely.
Yeah. So like, you might as well worry about things that matter, I guess.
True, but then there's the risk of existentialism. So it's like, I'd rather worry about the girl that's looking at me than like, what am I going to do with rent? I don't know, like, part of, I kind of miss it, but I also don't miss it at the same time. I'm just kind of a bit like, a lot of that seems silly now. I think that is kind of like the whole point of it. I really want to explore, before we kind of come to an end, if you could relive uni, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but would you, is part A, and then part B is, what would you change about that?
I definitely wouldn't live it.
You wouldn't?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you would. That's interesting.
No. I got everything I needed from it, and I think I'm definitely a much better person I am now than I went into it. Not that I was a bad person or anything, but just like more well-rounded. And I think I'm a lot happier now than... But I think I had such a good time, but I think I was just kind of a bit blinded by all these things I could be doing, and I just was constantly chasing something, doing something, and you get a bit addicted to it almost.
Yeah, it's like a high.
Yeah. So
yeah,
no,
definitely.
I wouldn't go back. I'm much happier now.
If you were given the opportunity to, okay, not time travel, but like someone said to you now, like, don't think about the finances and the student loan and all that. You can go back to uni tomorrow and like do another 3-4 years. would you do that? Or still no? No.
No.
You've ticked the box.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah. I like that idea. It's like closing the chapter. I think I would completely agree with you on that. Like, I think that the girl that left was a completely different girl to the one that went in. And she's a lot more mature and she's a lot wiser and she knows what she wants a lot more. And I think she's much more well-rounded. I think if I hadn't have gone to uni, I'd stayed in that small town. This might be the same for you. I don't know. I probably would just be in a bubble. Like, I see people live in bubbles and I think it scares me now. Like, now that I know that's how people live their life. Yeah,
definitely.
But then I also, part of me wishes I was, the thing I would probably change is maybe just like self-compassion. Like, there's a lot of things that I would want to relive, like experiences and opportunities. But I think I spent a lot of time just beating myself up about things that reaped the joy out of them. Like, I wish I could go back and like, with this 24-year-old head and be like, just go to radio and do radio and not think about so-and-so that was annoying you earlier or the fact that you didn't do as well on that paper. Like, do you know what I mean? I wish I just lived more presently.
Yeah.
And just like enjoyed the things that I did genuinely enjoy, and didn't beat myself up for doing things that everyone makes mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish I just didn't beat myself up for shit.
I think it's also the kind of the being kind to your younger self of like, you didn't know any better at the time. Like, you were doing your best. Like, hindsight's 20/20, and you know more now, and you've become a lot more mature, and you act differently. But you didn't know any better back then. So
no,
how were you ever supposed to handle it perfectly? Yeah,
that's so true actually. And there are times where I've like, I don't know, like had an argument with someone. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have handled that now that way. But actually, my emotions were running so high, like, who knows, maybe I wouldn't do that now, but at the time I'd never been put in that situation before.
But
so
the only way you know that that's not how you handle it now is because you handled it wrong the first time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's so true. I just think these lessons are sticky when you're learning them, but but important afterwards, aren't they?
I mean, it is just baptism by fire, but
yeah. It is. That is life, isn't it? That's life. In the words of Frank Sinatra, that's life. Okay, so as we start to come to an end, there are two questions I always ask, or the last few episodes I've started to ask, that kind of just bring everything all together. The first one is to do with gratitude, because I think it's really important to, like, when you're reflecting on any life lessons or anything really, you should be able to look presently and see what you're grateful for. So that could be, I don't know, it could be a really small thing, like I had a really good coffee this morning, I made it just how I like it and it was great. Or it could be, I'm grateful for the experiences that I've had. Do you know what I mean? It could be an overriding life gratitude moment that wasn't a great
I do have one. I was talking to one of my friends, he'd been up in Leeds, and I was like just taking him to the bus stop, and he's like, we were just talking about like missing people in general. And I had the thought of like, how lucky are we to know such cool people that we miss them daily?
That's so lovely. Yeah.
So, like, I think I'm grateful to have people in my life that are worthy of being missed.
Yeah. It's like that Winnie the Pooh quote where it's like, how lucky are we to have something that means, well, mess it up, well done. How lucky are we to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard? And it's the same sort of...
so it wasn't an original thought. I've ripped off Winnie the Pooh.
No. It's a different quote. It's a different quote, but it's an original thought, because having someone that you miss is a privilege. Like that makes us feel less alone in this big world. It makes the world feel a lot smaller and more intimate, doesn't it? I love that. I really love that. That's like nothing else that anyone said to me on this, and I think that's really lovely. Yeah. Okay, and then on a slightly similar vein, and overall, especially because we've been reflecting on past versions of ourselves, etc., is there some piece of advice or a statement that you'd like to share with a younger version of yourself? Now, this could be any age, whoever needs to hear it the most. Is there something that you think they need to hear that you want to let them know?
And I think it's the best piece of advice I have ever been given and will ever be given.
Okay.
And it's just slow down.
Yeah. I love that. Go on.
Because it just applies to everything.
Mm.
Like if you're rushing, you're not enjoying it, and you're not present, you're also going to make mistakes. Just take a breath and slow down.
Yeah.
And there's like in 99% of situations that you could find some joy in it if you
Yeah.
looked for it.
Yeah. No, that's so true. If you're actually like present and looking around you, you're likely to
Yeah.
find these things that you're almost like, if you spend your whole life going, one day I'll be happy when I do this, one day I'll be happy when I do that, then you'll never actually get there because it's always just in the future.
Yeah.
And it's like running on a treadmill and you never really arrive on your destination. I mean, my favourite song of all time is Vienna by Billy Joel, which is exactly that
Up
sentiment.
there for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's exactly what people need to hear. I think at our stage in life as well, we spend a lot of time trying to do everything now because we're young and we should.
Real existential crisis in like second year of uni, like proper, like what are we doing here? What is the point of life? Like why isn't anything even?
Oh, I had one as well in first year, don't worry.
It like really messes with you for a couple months.
It does, yeah.
And I think I just kind of came to the conclusion of like, there is no point, but that is the point.
Yeah.
So, and I remember the first time I didn't like wake up thinking about this. I just like went, got up, made myself a coffee, and just like sat and stared out the window and just sat.
Yeah.
Stillness. And every day I always start my day with a coffee now. I know you're supposed to drink water or eat something before having caffeine, but like it just that sets me up for the day. Just a coffee in like just being still and
being
slowing
present.
down.
Yeah, it's like a mindful practice, isn't it, really? It's just like, oh, like this is how I need my day to start. Like I need this for me to just sit down and take everything in. Like I think that's so important. And you're right, I also had to like learn that experience of like, there isn't an answer. And if you're constantly searching for it, you're not going to find it. People, as humans, we do seek that purpose. But
we've
it
been doing it
arrives.
for thousands of years. If there was an answer, someone would have found it by now.
Yeah. And like, would that answer actually make us any happier? That's what I always think as well.
I think it'd make us less happy if we found out there was actually a meaning to life. Like,
yeah, I think people would be like, oh. I think there's that kind of nihilism of like, there isn't an answer, but there's lots of fun things you can be doing. So let's just make the most out of them. Like, and that fun thing doesn't have to be huge. Like it could just be you sat with your coffee. I think that's another thing. It doesn't have to be like solving world peace. These small things can be like the meaning for you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Wow, we're so wise. Look, first year us could never, I feel.
Yeah.
You got to come out the other side.
I'd probably just, if first year was watching this, he'd probably just call me some rude words and go to the pub. But,
yeah, literally.
What are your answers to those questions?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, no one's ever turned that around to me. Whoa, okay, now I'm not on the spot. Grateful for, I mean, completely iterate everything you're saying. I think I'm grateful for the lessons that like uni taught me. I'm very conscious that I feel like I've shat on it this whole episode because I think that uni for me has been a massive like love-hate relationship, but it's taught me a lot. And I think that there was a time where I was desperate to like get out and just find who I was. I felt that I was just like lost in this like crowd of people. There was quite a bitchy culture that I felt I was surrounded in, and I wanted to get out of that. And there was a time where I felt like I wouldn't. Like, I know that sounds really unrealistic, but like it felt like uni was going to go on forever. Like it just felt like it's like endless cycle.
That's interesting. I had the opposite thing. I was like, I felt it slipping away.
Oh no, I felt like it. I was scared in like a, oh my God, I'm growing up kind of way.
Yeah.
But in like a kind of like, I felt trapped kind of way that I felt like I was never going to get out. And like I said earlier, this is my third flat since then. And I'm fine. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I got out.
Yeah.
Of the things that were holding me back, I got out. And I think I genuinely on a regular basis, I'm like grateful for that. And I think maybe that's the message, like in hand that I'd like give to myself, that is kind of like the things that are worrying you now. I think I wouldn't want to belittle her, because I think that the things that are important to you when you're younger are important for a reason. And I think the things that stress you out, nothing more annoying than someone that's older than you going, Oh, you won't worry about that when you're older. There's nothing more annoying, because when it's like the end of the world when you're like 20, it's the end of the world. So shut up, older me. I think I would say, yeah, that was shit. You hated that, and I wouldn't wish that upon myself again now. But it's not a chapter of your life anymore. Like, it's in the past, and there is a whole new life that you rebuild where that's not the centre of your universe anymore. So, yeah, I think that's what I would say. I feel like I've been like really evasive, but I know what I mean. But yeah, so I think they'd be my answers. But thanks for asking. I've never really reflected on them myself. But in terms of the relevance of this episode, I think that's what comes up, definitely. But yeah, thank you so much for like allowing me to reflect. You've given me a really interesting way of looking at things and made me think about things in a completely different way. Is there anything that you feel we haven't touched upon that you want to share, that you want to talk about, just as we start to like come to a close?
But I don't think so. Nothing's springing to mind.
Well, that's fine too. You know, that means we've ticked all the boxes.
The past hour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel like I should have been lying down on the sofa. But yeah, okay. Well, if there's nothing, then I guess we'll just see what this next chapter holds, and I guess we'll figure it out as we go along. Thanks, Glenn.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.